Growing up, I learned early that love in our house wasn't unconditional. It was something you earned. If you were the right kind of kid, my little sister Ashley, she was perfect, golden, reckless but adored. I was the villain help, the background character they forgot to credit. If she threw a tantrum in Target, they hugged her and bought her candy. If I stayed up late studying, I got scolded for leaving the light on. By 12, I was doing odd jobs, shoveling snow, walking dogs, anything to afford my own school supplies. My parents never helped with applications, financial aid, or even basic encouragement. They were too busy. Ashley, meanwhile, had everything: music, lessons, braces, therapy, even a new car for her self-esteem. I got into college on merit, working part-time to survive. I ate ramen, skipped parties, and hustled. They didn't visit, didn't call. But when Ashley dropped out of art school, they called her. Brave for finding herself, I called it what it was: privilege. Ashley tried everything: fashion school, baking classes, yoga training, even spiritual retreats she found on Instagram. Nothing stuck. Every time she quit, my parents said she was just exploring her path. I was working 60-hour weeks in IT, building something real. But to them, Ashley was the one figuring life out. When she launched a candle shop on Etsy, they threw her a launch party. I got a promotion and heard nothing but silence. Once, Mom posted about Ashley's courage to reinvent herself. The same week, I helped my company close a $1 million contract. They never even asked how work was going. Then came the first ask. "Hey, honey," Mom said, voice light. "Ashley's rent is late again. Could you maybe spot her just this once?" I sent the money. Then it was her car payment, her credit card, just until she gets on her feet. But Ashley never stayed on her feet long. And no matter how many times she stumbled, they treated her like the sun, always rising, always brilliant. I was just the steady one, expected to orbit quietly. After another call about Ashley's latest emergency, I offered a compromise. I'd set up a separate savings account, family emergency fund. I called it. I'd deposit $500 a month, strictly for real needs: medical bills, home repairs, something serious. I even emailed them the rules. Everyone agreed. It felt fair, predictable, safe. For a while, it actually worked. Mom used it when Dad needed a root canal. Once, the furnace broke down in January, and I approved the withdrawal without hesitation. I felt useful, in a healthy way, like maybe we were finally functioning like a real family. Ashley didn't touch it, at least not openly. She texted once asking for help with an investment opportunity, but I reminded her of the rules. She sent a thumbs up and a meme. I let myself believe it meant progress, but something in me stayed watchful. I kept detailed logs of every transfer. I updated passwords monthly. I didn't say it out loud, but I knew them too well to think peace would last. My gut whispered, "This isn't over." Not even close. Ashley's birthday dinner was at a trendy rooftop spot downtown. I showed up with a modest gift card and my usual quiet smile. What I didn't expect was the white BMW parked out front. Brand new, massive red bow across the hood like some Instagram ad. My heart sank. Inside, everything screamed event. Balloons, champagne, waiters in black vests. Ashley beamed like a celebrity, floating from table to table. No one even noticed when I walked in. Dad was laughing too loud. Mom wore pearls she hadn't touched in years. When I finally asked who bought the car, Dad said, almost proudly, "We did." Well, technically it's leased, but still, my jaw tensed. "With what money?" I asked. He waved me off. "She's been through a lot. She deserves something nice." I barely touched my food. Everyone else was taking selfies. I kept looking out at that car, my stomach tight. Something was off, way off. I knew what my parents made. They couldn't afford that without help. And I had a sinking feeling I already knew whose help it was. The next morning, I logged into the emergency fund account. Balance, $63. I blinked, refreshed. Same. I checked transaction history. For wire transfers, 2 weeks apart, thousands each, labeled as medical, but I hadn't approved a thing. Dread crawled up my spine. I opened my credit report. That's when it hit. 3 active accounts I'd never seen. 2 credit cards, 1 personal loan, all opened in the past 6 months, all in my name, all maxed out. I sat in silence for a long time, just the hum of my monitor and the pounding in my chest. I wasn't confused. I knew exactly who had done this. It wasn't hackers. It wasn't identity theft from some gas station skimmer. It was My own parents. I called my closest friend, Darren, a lawyer. You need to breathe, he said calmly. Then we document everything, every file, every charge, start a paper trail. This isn't just betrayal, it's federal. That word, federal, echoed through me. I opened a new spreadsheet, started building the case, not just for the bank, for myself, for the truth. I called them that night. No greetings, no soft lead-in, just, I know what you did. You drained the account. You opened credit in my name. That's fraud. Silence. Then Mom's voice, tight, defensive. What are you talking about? Dad chimed in. You're being dramatic. It was just to help Ashley. She needed a start. My stomach turned. You stole my identity, I said flatly. You lied. You forged. That's not help. That's a crime. Mom tried the guilt route. We're family. You wouldn't be where you are without us, Dad scoffed. We raised you, didn't we? Then Ashley jumped in on speaker. God, are you serious right now? You're jealous. Just admit it. You've always hated that I got more attention. I didn't raise my voice, didn't flinch. You have one choice. Pay back every cent, close the accounts, return what isn't yours, or I take this to court. Their tone shifted. Panic, then rage. But I was already done. I ended the call, opened Darren's email, and typed. Let's proceed. Court wasn't dramatic. No shouting, no gasps, just evidence. Bank statements, forged applications, IP logs. Ashley's signed car lease tied to my stolen credit. Darren laid it out like a timeline of betrayal. Calm, relentless. The judge ruled in my favor. The BMW was repossessed within days. Ashley's employer saw the headlines. Fraud investigation, identity theft. And let her go. My parents faced fines and were warned. One more misstep, and they'd lose the house. I didn't smile in court. I didn't cheer. I felt tired, but clear, like someone finally turned off the gaslight that had flickered my whole life. Family called me heartless. Cousins texted, "How could you do this to your own parents?" But Uncle Ray pulled me aside after the hearing. "You did the hard thing, kid," he said. "The right thing. That takes guts." I nodded. No pride. No regret. Just clarity. I hadn't burned the bridge. I'd just stopped setting myself on fire to keep it standing. A year later, I live in a quiet house outside the city. Big windows. No drama. I changed jobs. Better hours. Better sleep. Some weekends I forget to check my phone. And that's the best part. Per court order, my parents make monthly payments. I don't touch the money. Every check gets redirected to a nonprofit for at-risk youth. Feels right. Feels clean. Last week, Mom called. First time in months. Her voice was soft, careful. "Your father's health isn't great. We could really use help with..." I cut her off. "No." A pause. "You don't mean that." I did. "You made choices, so did I." She tried the old guilt script. Family should stick together. I didn't argue, just ended the call. Block the number. Closure isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a locked door and no explanation. I don't hate them. I've just outgrown the roles they wrote for me. This is what healing looks like. Clear boundaries, earned peace, and a life no longer built around someone else's chaos. I'm finally free.